Spotify is a global audio streaming service. It provides access to millions of songs, podcasts. Most people understand what Spotify does for them, but the more important question is about its business model. How does a company that gives away so much content actually make money? The answer is not a single revenue stream, it is a complex machine with interconnected parts. To understand Spotify, one must follow the flow of money. The money moves from listeners, advertisers, through Spotify's platform, to content creators, to the company's own bottom line. Spotify pioneered a model that changed the music industry forever. It shifted the primary mode of consumption from ownership to access. This fundamentally altered the economics for artists, labels, consumers. The company operates on a massive scale. It has hundreds of millions of users across the globe. Some of these users pay a monthly fee. Many more do not. Both groups are essential to how Spotify generates revenue. The interplay between these two user bases is the central dynamic of the company's strategy. The core of the business is a classic freemium model. A free, ad-supported tier acts as a massive funnel. It attracts users with zero initial financial commitment. The goal is to convert a percentage of these free users into paying subscribers over time. However, the company's costs are immense and largely variable. The largest single expense is royalties. Balancing these costs against subscriptions and advertising is the fundamental challenge. It is a high-volume, low-margin game. The primary driver of Spotify's revenue is its premium subscription service. This is the company's most important and most stable source of income. Users pay a recurring monthly fee for an enhanced experience, ad-free listening, download content for offline access, higher quality audio streams. The subscription model provides predictable cash flow. Spotify knows how much money it will generate from its subscriber base each month. This predictability is highly valued by investors and allows for long-term strategic planning. It is the bedrock of the entire financial structure. Let's consider a simple example. A standard individual premium plan costs around $11.99 per month in the US. If Spotify has 250 million paying subscribers globally, each paying an average of just $7 per month, accounting for family plans, student discounts, lower prices in emerging markets, the monthly subscription revenue would be approximately $1.75 billion. That translates to over $21 billion per year. This figure dwarfs the revenue from the ad-supported tier. It powers Spotify and funds its operational and content costs. Spotify constantly refines offerings to justify the cost and reduce churn. Keeping churn low is just as important as acquiring new subscribers. However, this revenue does not belong entirely to Spotify. The company has complex licensing agreements with record labels, music publishers, other rights holders. These agreements often require around 2/3 of subscription revenue to be paid as royalties. So from $175 billion, more than $1 billion is earmarked for rights holders. Spotify is a middleman taking a cut for providing the platform and service. While subscriptions generate the bulk of the revenue, the ad-supported free tier is a critical component of Spotify's strategy. This tier serves a dual purpose. First, it is a massive user acquisition funnel. It allows anyone with an internet connection to access the service at no cost, creating a vast pool of potential future subscribers. People who might never consider paying for music can be brought into the ecosystem. Over time, as they integrate the service into their daily lives, the friction of the ad-supported experience is designed to encourage an upgrade to premium. This makes the free tier an essential, long-term marketing investment. Second, the free tier is a substantial business in its own right. Spotify monetizes its free listeners by selling advertising space. Advertisers pay to place audio, video, display ads that are served to users between songs and within the app interface. For example, a brand might pay a certain amount for every 1,000 ad impressions delivered to listeners in a specific demographic. With hundreds of millions of free users listening for hours each week, these impressions add up quickly. This creates a significant and growing revenue stream that complements subscriptions. The economics of the ad-supported user are very different from a premium subscriber. A single free user generates far less revenue per month than a paying subscriber. For instance, if a subscriber pays $11.99 per month, a free user might only generate $1 to $2 in ad revenue over the same period. However, the sheer scale of the free user base makes the total ad revenue significant. If 350 million free users each generate an average of $1.50 per month, that amounts to $525 million in monthly revenue, or over $6 billion annually. Like subscription revenue, a portion of it must be paid out in royalties. However, the per-stream royalty rate for ad-supported listening is typically lower than the rate for premium streams. Spotify's ability to grow its advertising business is crucial. By investing in ad tech, targeting, and measurement, it can charge higher rates and increase revenue per free user. In recent years, Spotify has made a significant strategic push beyond music. The most prominent example is its massive investment in podcasting. The company has spent billions acquiring podcasting technology companies, production studios, exclusive rights to popular shows and hosts. This strategy has multiple financial objectives. First, it differentiates Spotify from competitors Apple Music, Amazon Music, which have historically been more music-focused. Exclusive podcasts can attract new users and give existing users more reasons to stay. This helps both the subscription business and the advertising business. The economics of podcasts are fundamentally different from music. With music, Spotify must pay a royalty for every single stream. With many podcast deals, particularly exclusive content, Spotify pays a large, fixed upfront fee. After that initial investment, every listen is essentially free from a content cost perspective. This allows Spotify to insert its own ads into these shows and keep 100% of the resulting ad revenue. This changes the margin profile of the business. It gives Spotify more control over its costs and creates a higher margin revenue stream, especially for highly popular exclusive shows. Partnerships and bundles represent another important avenue for growth and revenue. Spotify collaborates with a wide range of companies, from telecommunications providers to consumer electronics manufacturers. A mobile phone carrier might offer a 6-month free trial of Spotify Premium to new customers. A hardware company might pre-install the Spotify app on its devices, like Samsung or Google. These deals are primarily about user acquisition at very low cost. The financial arrangements vary. Sometimes the partner pays a fee to Spotify, while other times it is a revenue-sharing agreement. Furthermore, Spotify is building services for artists and creators. The Spotify for Artists platform provides valuable listener data such as demographics and geographic location, plus promotional tools. While many are currently free, they lay the groundwork for future monetization through premium analytics, enhanced promotional placements, and other creator services. The single largest cost for Spotify, by a wide margin, is content. Specifically, this means the royalties and distribution fees paid to the owners of the music and podcasts streamed on its platform. Spotify does not own the vast majority of its music catalog. It licenses it from record labels, Bertisenbauer Syken Panpensefer Tromberberu Fisnen, Indopperkanen, Indopperdobarer, for example, Universal, Sony, Warner, Needleber Rapper Spen, Inverboker, and also licenses from music publishers and independent artists. These licensing agreements are incredibly complex, but the basic principle is simple. Spotify pays a large percentage of its revenue back to rights holders. That figure has hovered around 70 cents of every dollar of music revenue. That cost structure creates a major profitability challenge. Royalties are tied to revenue and usage, so as Spotify grows, its largest expenses grow too. If revenue from subscriptions and ads grows by $1 billion, content costs increase by about $700 million. That leaves only $300 million to cover everything else and profit. This is why scale is critical. Spotify must generate massive revenue just to cover baseline content costs before paying for operations. Beyond content, Spotify has major operating expenses. A big piece is R&D. The company employs thousands of engineers, data scientists, and product managers. They work to improve the app, develop new features, and maintain the technical infrastructure for billions of streams per day, including servers, bandwidth, and the software powering recommendations and ad delivery. Finally, sales, marketing, and general administrative costs consume the remaining revenue. Global campaigns, promotional offers, partnership deal costs, and corporate functions. Only after all of these costs are paid can Spotify post a profit. The company's success depends on growing revenue faster than combined expenses. In summary, Spotify's business model is a finely tuned balancing act. The company makes money primarily from two sources: premium subscriptions, advertising built on the free user tier. It also invests in higher margin content, podcasts, and forms partnerships to drive growth. This dual revenue approach is the core of its strategy. It monetizes the entire user base, those who pay with wallets and those who pay with time and attention. Its primary strength is scale, over 500 million users. Scale creates a flywheel. More users attract creators, more users attract advertisers, which drives more users. That network effect forms a competitive moat. Investments in personalization, discovery, fueled by vast listening data, make the product stickier. But there are big risks: dependency on rights holders and high content costs. Record labels hold negotiating power, and rising royalties could wipe out slim margins. That's why Spotify pushes into podcasts and original content to hedge costs. Owning content gives control over costs and better long-term profitability. Sustained profitability needs a multi-pronged plan: grow subscribers, focus on emerging markets, increase revenue per user from subscriptions and from advertising by improving product and ad technology, manage content costs, diversify the content library, and gain more leverage in negotiations. Balancing growth investments and cost management will decide Spotify's future. The money flow is simple in idea but complex to execute. It's the central challenge and opportunity for Spotify.